That's right. There's the power. Power take. That's right. A good evening to each and every one of you, wherever around the world you guys are joining us from this evening. That's right. Good to see each and every one of you guys. Each and every one. I see Carlotta Barker is already here. Benita Bishop is already here. Winston Henry is already here. All you other fantastic folks are here with us as well. Dan Gravesandi is here. Let us know, guys, if you're receiving our song loud and clear and loud. Let us know how you guys are receiving us tonight, folks. Good to see each and every one of you. Nicola Daniels, Dennis London Welshman, Ronnie, good to see you. Doreen Beckles and all the others. Dolores Denny, good to see you guys too. Myrnis Toby, good to see you folks. Pace and Power. Quasi Moffat, good to see you as well. Brenda Braffett, Claudette Clark, good to see you as well. Margaret Craig, Cecile Ogle, how are you doing, Cecile? Roxy McKinnon, good to see you. Good to see you. Roxanne Odessa Jacobs. All you beautiful, fantastic folks coming by and coming up. The one and only Mr. Rickford Burke coming by and coming up, folks. The one and only Deron Adams. Good to have each and every one of you. And we're so happy that you guys are here with us. Pace and Power, we're so glad that you especially are here with us this evening. Folks like Laverne Harry Chiran, Kelvin Benjamin, Ebon Lamy, Pace and Power. We have rung the bell, Munishwanarai, and we out here, folks. Yep. Paulette, good to see you. Ebon, Shondell Shanetta, David Edwards, good to see you. Beautiful folks. Wherever you guys are joining us from around the world, Zoan Smart, Myrna Monroe, good to see you folks. Pace and Power. Edward Gonzalez, we see you as well. Chandika Watson, guys, we're ready to head into the fight card. We don't know about you, but we are fired up at this end and we are ready to go. Our guests are going to be stopping by. How are you folks doing, guys? Share the live stream. We are fired up, guys, and we are so ready to go. Boots on the ground. We ain't backing down. We're in the ring again, people. We're in the ring again, folks, and we are so happy that all of you are here. Deanne Britton, so happy that you are here, and good to see you. Lynette Jacobs and Jenny's Booker and Tonya, Glenford Gordon, Lynette Jacobs, Paulette Niles is here with us. Pace and Power. We are fired up and we are ready to go, guys. Ready to go. We're gonna jump right into the fight card in about 5 seconds. We got a long 5 seconds waiting for some of you guys to catch up with us. Waiting, holding for you guys to catch up with us. Holding. We're in a holding pattern, folks. Good to see each and every one of you. We don't want to waste time tonight at all. We are fired up, guys, and we are ready to go. Fired up, ready to go. Hundreds of you are already here with us. Hundreds of you. Alison Bryan and Anneli Wallace and Patricia Kissoon here with us. Hazel Chase here with us as well. And Tanya Cummins here. Pace and Power in 2022. Tanya. Winston Henry. Those of you guys who are following us on Twitter, ensure you give us a retweet. And also, we want to see the emojis on Twitter itself. And those of you guys who are following us on YouTube, where are our tubers? We want to see those comments. We want to give our YouTubers a shout out as well, guys. And those of you on Facebook, the Facebook set, we see y'all out there, and we're so privileged. We're so happy to have each and every one of you. Jenny's Booker says, let's go, fired up, let's fight, folks. We are ready to go. And here we go, folks. We bring you guys in from internationally, guys. Welcome in the ring. Let's fight. Whether you guys are joining us on YouTube, you guys are joining us on Facebook, you guys are joining us wherever you're joining us from. We are so happy to see you. We're fired up, guys, and we are ready to go. Fired up and ready to go. We're not going to wait a second longer. Fired up and ready to go. And guys, here is what's on the fight card. Fired up and ready to go, folks. Fired up and ready to go. Fired up and ready to go. Fired up, ready to go. Fired up, ready to go. Fired up. Share the live stream. Smash, smash, smash the emoji button, folks. Smash, smash, smash that emoji button. Share, share, share the live stream as well. Good to see each and every one of you. Good to see each and every one of you. Great to see you. Great to see you guys. We're fired up, guys, and we're ready to go. They're fired up, ready to go. Fired up and ready to go, guys. Good to have each and every one of you here with us, guys. We'd have it no other way. I telling you, we would have it no other way, and we're getting ready to come right back into you guys. Share the live stream. Where you guys at? Where you guys at? Where you guys at? How are you guys doing? We ready? We ready, guys? Are we ready? Fired up and ready to go, guys, and we are ready to get into the fight card, and we hope you guys are ready as well. Well, here's what we're following internationally, folks. I'm certain by now you guys have been glued to your television. You guys have been watching, and you probably know where we're going. Here is where we're going. Yep. Will Smith and family, big night last night at the Oscars. Will Smith won Best Actor, and folks, my Lord, well, what a movie this was last night. I think he won Best Actor for what transpired on the Oscar stage. Folks, Oscar 2022 was unlike anything you've ever seen before, and I don't think in our entire lifetime we will see anything like it. I feel strongly that Chris Rock and Will Smith have been watching us night after night, and these guys are taking us very... Yep, that's what was going down at the Oscars, folks. And I'm certain all of you got your views, and I'd love to hear them. I'm certain each and everyone have your views, and I would love to hear them. But folks, take a look at what transpired there. Take a look at what went down at the Oscars last night. Take a look.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. Okay.
Yep, folks. That is how it went down at the Oscars. And you all thought our parliament was exciting. Well, folks, that is how it went down there. Folks, work with us this evening. We got a lot of technical difficulties, a lot of challenges we are fighting through. Just like last evening, those guys have been taking us seriously. When we say, let's fight, good to see each and every one of you. Moving on to the fight card, folks. From around the region, guys, from around the region. Y'all know where we own story at this end. Where we own trouble at this end. Where we own story. Where we own trouble. Right, that's how it's going down. Look what's happening here, guys. Yep, we're still here. We're still here. Yep. Rowley versus Jagdio. Rowley versus Jagdio. That's how it's been going down all weekend, guys. Because y'all know Jagdio opened his mouth. Jagdio opened his mouth, folks. Got his foot inside. Say TNT falling apart. And them guys ain't having it. Since that time, Rowley has made a statement. Rowley has clarified Trinidad's position. And I want you guys to take a listen to that. Take a listen to that, folks.
I'm sure you would have seen by now the Vice President of Guyana, has made some comments about the Trinidad and Tobago economy. And he doubled down on it earlier today, just saying that he's using it as almost like a guidepost for Guyana not to fall. What are your thoughts on that?
There are a lot of people in Guyana, and I am not really distracted by Vice President Jagdio's comments about us. A lot of people comment about us, some favorably and some not. We will not be distracted by that.
Mr. Prime Minister, in that same vein, you would have made some comments in Parliament earlier this week to MP Fanaparimo. If you want to go Guyana, why don't you go Guyana? Did you mean in any way to be negative towards those countries, Guyana or Barbados?
The English language is very simple and straightforward for those of us who use it as our mother tongue. I was speaking about Rodney Charles of Trinidad and Tobago and where he wants to go. That had nothing to do with Guyana, because Rodney Charles goes to places that have nothing to do with Guyana. Let me tell you why. I must admit that I did lose my cool at that moment, because when Rodney Charles comes and plays advisor to me and to Trinidad and Tobago, it rots my gut. Because I tell you why. Rodney Charles, that same Rodney Charles, he was representing us in New York as a diplomat at the United Nations. There's a racist political party in France called the Nationalist Party, run by Jean-Marie Le Pen. He died. His daughter took over that party, Marine Le Pen. There was a presidential election in France, and in attempting to push her candidacy, she traveled to New York, hoping to raise her profile by talking to diplomats and leaders in New York. She was not even, so offensive was that campaign and the person that associated with it. She was not even able to get the French diplomats in New York to host her, because the French people did not want to associate with the nature of that campaign. She was not able to meet with a single diplomat in New York, except Rodney Charles of Trinidad and Tobago, who agreed to have lunch with her. I found that to be offensive. I continue to find Rodney Charles a person to apologize to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, who sold out our public image for a plate of food. And to come now in the Parliament, behaving the way he is behaving, and seeking to stoke division between Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana and Barbados and whoever else, it is just provoking. Because he owes this country an apology. And I will tell you something. Talking to me about being friendly with Granger, and that is the reason why I am not associating with the politics of Guyana. Unlike some of them, we are not interfering in the politics of any country. I came back here from a long, tiring trip to Ghana. I got into my bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I got up at 4 o'clock, got to the airport, joined my colleague from Barbados, and we went to Guyana, and we spent 3 days in Guyana seeking to part the population that was going at each other's throats around an election result. And I want to say something to the people of Guyana and the people of Trinidad and Tobago now, because of what Rodney Charles said in our parliament. Rodney Charles is a parliamentarian in this country, and he threw out in our parliament that I, as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, I am not friendly with the government of Guyana because I hold some friendliness with the outgoing government and the President of Guyana. I act respectfully and cooperatively with every CARICOM head. Every one of them I regard as my colleague, and the record would show I chaired CARICOM, and some of the most far-reaching consequences had to be dealt with during my stewardship. And I went to Guyana that morning. And I could say to the people of the Caribbean, now contrary to what Rodney Charles and the UNC is trying to stoke in this country, there was one thing I said to my colleague at the time, who was the president of Guyana. I said, if you have lost this election, lose it with dignity. There'll be another chance. But if there's no dignity in this defeat, the next time you and your party will be of no use to your country. And that was the position of Trinidad and Tobago in Guyana. So when Rodney Charles gets up now and make that kind of statement to mislead the people of Trinidad and Tobago and of Guyana and of CARICOM, I take serious offense. But he represents the UNC. That is a clear and pleasant threat to good order in Trinidad and Tobago. But I will not engage in any to-in and fro-in, except to say a lot of people have spoken about us. Thankfully, most of them speak well of us.
It's the same thing with us here, you know. It's the same thing with me. A lot of people have spoken about us, but thankfully, most have spoken well about us. But folks, it didn't end there. Believe it or not, because just today, if you guys would have read the Guardian newspaper in Trinidad, you would have seen the foreign minister wrote a lengthy contribution in the Guardian newspaper in Trinidad. And part of what he said, he started by asking some questions. He asked, what is this designed to achieve? These comments by Barrett Jagdeo, Papa Jagabat, what are they designed to achieve? Who is their target audience? What are their objectives? The foreign minister of Trinidad and Tobago in today's Guardian newspaper out of Trinidad, he said there are many Guyanese and Jamaicans and Grenadians and Barbadians and Vincentians and others from the region who migrated to Trinidad and Tobago over the generations and who have done extremely well for themselves and are now integral in our diverse melting pot society. He went on to talk about the close relationship of Guyana and Trinidad in the past. The fact that they have written off billions of dollars that we borrowed from them. Billions of dollars that we have borrowed from them. Right? He went to the foreign minister of Trinidad, Dr. Amory Brown. He said they have helped us in the past. He said with our border issue with Venezuela, they came to our defense, stating that this matter has already been decided. When we had the flood last year, they came to our help and aid with food. So he said he don't understand what is happening here. Perhaps there are greater forces working in the Caribbean region. Interesting, because a lot of people are saying that Barrett Jagdeo is campaigning on behalf of the opposition leader there in Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala Prasad Bissessar. And as we've said in this program and other programs, you know, if you want to support your friend, fair enough, but you can't indict an entire country. You cannot drop an indictment against an entire people. As Errol Barrow, the late Prime Minister of Barbados, once said, you cannot do that. It is reckless. Reckless. But then it's Papa Jag what we're dealing with. It's Papa Jag what we're dealing with. So that was said on that front, folks. Moving on the fight card. Moving on quickly, guys. Signs of the times. Signs of the times. Yep, look what's happening here. Shoplifting in Lusignan. Signs of the times. Most certainly, guys. Signs of the... I know we've said here, irrespective of how hard things hard, right? Whatever signs of the times, we could have integrity, right? You could have your little, you could have integrity, you could have character, you could have values. Don't let people think fully eye. Never. Never let people think fully eye. Take a look at this.
Yeah, inside. Inside. When you come, big here is gone.
Some of y'all in these, you know, some of y'all in these, again, we say things could be hard. The times could be rough. The people could be messing up and mashing up the economy. That's no excuse. That's no excuse. And if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. That is no excuse. But signs of the times, folks, we already have one of our guests with us, and we're hastening to get him on. Trench Crapo and the Jagabats. This is their section, guys. Moving on. Look what happened in Bartica. You remember the big fight you had with the real bells of Bartica? You all remember the big fight, people? Oh, wow. Well, they were voted out over the weekend from the boat, the Bartica Boat Association. They were voted out, people. And I've never seen a tongue so happy to see some people go. I have never seen a tongue so happy to see some people go. Like how this tongue is rejoicing that the bells have been booted out from the Bartica Boat Association. Fare thee well, fellas. Fare thee well. I ring my bell for y'all. Very well. Folks, we got so many challenges we deal with at the back end, but we fighting through because that's who we be. That's who we is, guys. Moving on to fight card. Moving on. Look what's happening here. COVID. Now, they relaxed all of the COVID-19 protocols. They have relaxed all of them. But look, Frank is wondering now. He suspects that this new COVID variant, the BA2, I don't know if it's the BA2 or it's BA2, but it's a new COVID variant, and Frank suspects the variant could be here soon. He suspects after the people drop all of the COVID-19 protocols and restrictions. But it's just like Frank. Isn't it? Just like Frank. He suspects it could be here very soon. He rather suspect it could be here soon. We can be following up on this. Frank always suspect. Never suspect anything. He suspect it's the nature and quality of the fella. He's suspicious. It's the nature and the quality of the fella. Moving on in the fight card. Look what else is happening. We boy gone up. Please and thank you, Deron Adams. We boy gone up. Oh, Hickens has been appointed. Please and thank you as the acting commissioner of police. Yep, policia. Acting commissioner. We boy look sharp. Right? We boy look sharp. We boy say, don't get the work already. But we got to watch to see how this is going because no sooner we boy has been appointed. You know, this government very secretive. Everything we gone back to this secret swearing in. This thing happened over the weekend, you know, is now we hearing. Right? And this is not Mr. Hickens. Me police for he. It's them boys, the others. Everything secret swearing in. Stop it. This is 21st century, 2022. Right? Congratulations, Mr. Hickens. Pay some power and ring the bell for you. Pace and power. Just remember. Remember your friends. Remember what Jesus told the boys on the cross. Remember your friends. When you go up high, remember your friends. I know you're from long. Remember your friends. Serve well, sir. Serve well. We watching. No sooner I told you that had been said. Right? Folks are saying, why Hickens? Why he of all people? Why Hickens of all people? People are asking the question. Y'all vexed with them? You can ask question in a democratic society. Or is this Russia? Or North Korea? But people are asking why Hickens? Well, Catfish is having it. He said, why not? He said, why not? The president, the country cannot function without a top cop. Right? Watch it there. He said it. The country cannot function without a top cop. Cannot function without a top cop. Right? So Hickens had to be appointed. That's what Catfish said. Cannot function like that. Please and thank you. Well, no sooner has he said that. Well, quite strangely, folks, the country seemed to be able to function without all of these other things. We could function without a judicial service commission. We could function without a public service commission. We could function without a teaching service commission. Even function without the Natural Resources Fund Board, the local content secretariat. Oh, we could function without that. We could function without the Petroleum Commission. We could function without the Integrity Commission. We could function even without local government election. But the top cock, no, we can't function without a top cock. Right? Judicial Service Commission, yes. Public Service Commission, yes. Teaching Service Commission, yes. Natural Resource Fund Board, yes. We can function without all of that. Local content secretariat, yes. Fully functional. Petroleum Commission, yes. Integrity Commission, yes. But the top cock, local government elections, who need that? What's a local government election? We could function without all of that. But the top cop, not so much. Well, hold on. Don't run so fast. The leader of the PNCR, Mr. Aubrey Norton himself, he said it's illegal. He said it is illegal. You don't got no leader of the opposition to consult with. Right? The Police Service Commission, who know where they are? Among the other processes needed to appoint the top cop. So the PNCR, the People's National Congress Reform, is of the view that this appointment is illegal, and they will be treating it as such. They shall be treating it as such. Please and thank you. Right? That's that. Moving on. Well, no sooner that has been finished, this is what we've learned. We're telling you how to slow down on the roads. The Ghana Police Force records 17% drop in road fatalities. I wish that were so. Somebody fiddling with the numbers. I wish that were so. Not what we saw over the weekend. There's a 17% drop in road fatalities. I wish it were so. In addition to that, them boys just gave 11 million to the Ghana National Road Safety Council. 11 million. And then Robertson Ben telling them, he said, find the best ways to use the money. Just like the PPP, to think you could throw money at the problem and fix it. You don't got to provide vision. You don't got to provide leadership. Here he said, find the best way. Right? Find the best way. And spend the money. Just throw money at the problem. I don't know if there's a problem that 11 million could fix. I don't know. That sounds like 1 week, 2 weeks of the PR campaign. I don't know if this is a problem that a little 11 million could fix. That being said, folks, we wish them the best. And we will continue to do our bit here, advocating that people continue to use the roads very carefully, cautiously, and all the other C's and Lees. Right? And that's our advice. Arrive alive, guys. Use the road with caution and with care. That being said, we're going on to the high cost of living, because this is where we're going to be talking to our guest this evening. High cost of living, among some other things. Look what happened here. So your boy went to Linden, went to Region 10, selling dreams, of course. Selling dreams, that's what they're doing, selling dreams in Region 10, because we hear the promises before. And I'm going to be asking Deron about some of these promises. We have heard it all before. Love is a two-way street. Gladys Knight, you got to give something. Give you the best years of my life. Yeah. Selling dreams out here, but Region 10 not having it. Region 10 not having it, and we've been following and bringing it all to you, because it's only because we out here and we've been talking about the inequality of the wealth distribution. Them guys trying to save face. They're trying to save face based on what happened in Region 2, but we're following. Look at some of what happened in Region 2 and some of what is happening in Region 10. For instance, they gave out 250 small business grants in Region 2, 800 part-time jobs, they say, in 3 weeks, right? And then they said they're offering part payment for the students' internet bill. In addition to that, they're giving 2 major water treatment plants and 1 billion in roads, 2 large school buses. Yep. And in addition to that, 800 million to dredge the Pomeroon River. In comparison, they're trying to save face. What story, you know? They run up to Linden after the folks start talking, including us here. And they're giving Linden some jobs. Well, if the jobs at the call center in Linden is anything to go by, well, we ain't better off than where we started. If the call center the jobs that can be given is like those in the call center, we're in trouble still. They're giving some loans to small businesses. We can follow up on all this. Right? And then they said they're going to be looking at a new Mackenzie to Wisma bridge. In addition to that, folks, the bridge in consideration and approval since the last administration. So we could take off that one. And then also they said they're going to be offsetting some of the internet costs for Lindeners as well. We're looking. We got it, and we have some problems with the gold scholarship that are given out. So don't accept it without scrutinizing the process yet. And tomorrow evening we're going to be talking about that gold scholarship. So that is some of what is happening. Look at the difference between Region 2 and Region 10. And if you have to tell me the difference and why, you can host the program. The main event, folks, I am privileged to have my brother Deron Adams, the Region 10 chairman, with me this evening, folks. And without any further ado, I want to welcome my brother to the program this evening. Welcome, Deron Adams, Mr. Chairman of Region 10. How are you doing, sir?
Thank you, Sharad. I'm okay. I'm doing great.
Really good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
And I know you're coming in from a very, very strong weekend. You were privileged to be the only region, I think it was, to host the Queen's Baton that was passing through our beautiful country. Tell us about that.
Well, I must say, as regional chairman, I was most grateful for the opportunity that was given to me to actually coordinate the Queen's Baton Relay 2022 here in Region 10. As you know, the baton came in from Belize. It landed here in Guyana, and it involved a transition where it was collected by the British High Commissioner and UNICEF, among other diplomats. It was then handed to the president of the Commonwealth Games Federation, who would have handed it over to the vice president, Mr. Corbyn, who would have brought that baton to Region 10. And of course, it was handed over to the mayor, and it ended the Guyana leg. From Linden, it went to Kurupukari, and I think it's going to Grenada, yes. But we are happy to have all of our athletes participate in the exercise. It was an honor to have been at the helm of that activity. I think history was made Saturday. As you know, Region 10 is the talent basket for the country, and we are happy that we were able
I agree.
Yeah.
Some folks will want to think it's 7, but it's really 10. And Deron, as we run that, let me welcome Rickford Burke. I know he can want to talk up for certain places. Let me welcome he. He can want to talk for certain places. Proceed, sir.
Yeah, but
Barticus the talent basket for the nation. I don't know why
Yes,
my
sir.
honorable
Yeah,
friend,
right.
the chairman of Region 10, is misinforming the people. But go ahead.
well, the record speaks for itself that Region 10 has won the championship over 16 times. So I don't think there's any other region that can match us.
That's one
But we're happy.
aspect of talent and sports talent. How are you going to say, wait. See, you just give away yourself. Just one little championship y'all win. But you got to look at the wider thing. You sound,
Well, we have the best.
don't sound like Barack, man. You much smarter than that.
We have the best musicians too coming out. Cannonballs,
And Deron,
band. So
you know, unlike
They're
some
going to
places,
distract you. Go ahead.
we don't have fighting in the streets. You know, beating up brother against brother, wife against wife. We don't beat up in the street.
but
Those are
sure,
PPP partitions. There's a difference. Those are in the trench crapper category.
but the best thing about working over the weekend with those young people and the various associations, the presidents, the coaches, and the members of the various sports disciplines is that we were able to have a forum where I, as regional chairman, can hear directly from them what are the challenges. For example, we have made a representation for a youth and sports officer to either be employed or seconded to this region, and that has been denied for over 2 years now. We have seen that under the coalition, a synthetic track was built. It was started here, and 2 years after, the talent basket for this country cannot see a completed track. Simple things like our athletes attempting to go to Carifta Games, trials, to practice. There is zero funding. And so we call on the administration to give support to Region 10. I thought that these were some of the things that were going to be discussed yesterday. But of course, a lot of these things were bypassed. The PPP tends to distract you with the obvious while something is happening behind the scenes. And this is a test of their support base. Of course, they don't have much here in Region 10. With a anticipated snap elections on the horizon, they are testing the various regions. So they started in Region 2, and then they have appeared now in Region 10. And I want to warn our young people to be very careful that their interest is not to develop Region 10 and the people here, but they are basically picking off people who are connected to their party. If I can show you a list of contracts that were awarded over the past 2 years, over 70% went to close friends and families of the PPP. It is not a fair process. A great percentage of it is done through selective tendering, so it's kind of breaching the tender process because you're only supposed to use that in an emergency case. But we see selective tendering taking the front burner, and everybody is being called and given a contract And the talented people who can build and who understands the communities. And that's why you saw a drain collapse in Silvertongue, because they brought in a man who knew nothing about constructing drains, compromised the integrity of the structure by cutting back. And eventually 24 hours after the drain was completed, the rains came. And of course, you know what happened there. So when they come in, I want to warn our residents. When they come here and they say, take this, and they say, take that, take the scholarship, take the hampers. I will never tell you not to take it, because it's taxpayers' money that they're using to purchase these things. But just remember that as residents of Region 10, they don't like you. And to follow them and to support them will not be in your best interest. It's like you'll be shooting yourself in your foot. So be very careful. Many of the issues, I hope, I saw the minister calling me out that I did not attend the forum. Well, I have an explanation for that, but I hope that those persons that they took off of the public assistance, the 800 plus, the woman who suffered from the stroke, the man who was in an altercation and his left arm was severed, I hope when he turned up there, they would have provided a reason as to why
800 plus off of public assistance?
Yes, as to why Vidya Prasad would have set up an all 8-member board of all 8 Indo-Guyanese in a predominantly Afro-Guyanese region. And they have been taking people off of the public assistance program with no clear plan of transition in place for these persons. The land board and the funding that they're talking about asks, why is the land board not yet activated after 2 years? People are being denied funds for small businesses. They are being denied funds for agriculture. They're being denied funds for programs and many other things that they have their proposal and they have already been approved. But because this board is not set up, they are being denied. And what has resulted now is that many of the staff who, and I believe, and I would have said it earlier, that Region 10 is targeted strategically and intentionally. So what they would do is frustrate you by not providing the resources for an organization such as LEN. And what you will find is that all of the staff, or a great percentage of the staff, because they have not been paid for 3 months or more, would have walked off the job. And that is what they have been doing. You saw it with the ambulance brigade. You saw it with the firing of the ambulance brigade, an organization that's been around for over 50 years. You saw it with the 21 data entry clerks, removing 96 million from the region. All of these projects were set up under the coalition. The firing of the Linden Board of Guardians. And so when they come and they say that they are bringing scholarships, do not be fooled. The coalition would have delivered over 1,000 scholarships to young people. We would have set up the Bertram Collins College. Ask them why they would have dismantled that, an organization that was professionalizing the workforce. Young people from the Amerindian communities where the services were terminated and they were sent home, all the staff, simply because the government of the day was teaching the public service how to treat the public when they are dealing with them, how to be professional. They were providing opportunities for them. They send them all home, close it down. But now you're coming under the pretext that you are going to be doing gold projects. Let me give you one other example. This is an ad that is in today's newspaper, Ministry of Health. And at the top of the ad, they have that the Ministry of Health training and opportunities will be done at Georgetown, New Amsterdam, and the Charles Rosa School of Nursing. But at the bottom, in the regions where the trainings will actually happen, there is no mention of Region 10. The nursing school was closed down. They sent home many of our Afro brothers and sisters. Yes, and those, what they did, they secretly called back about 6 persons with the last name Dindilal Pearson, and I can't remember the other one, but all the persons whose names sounded like Duncan and Burke were removed. This is after they would have invested their monies in their medical books, principles of anatomy and physiology, fundamentals of nursing, thousands of dollars to these textbooks, and they were told to stay at home. There is no place for them. But they're training nurses in every other region here in Guyana, except Region 10. Most unfortunate.
Yeah. Rickford, you understand these people. You understand them. Look at what is happening here. And you know, I know Deron would know of what transpired with Linden Hospital nurses when they imposed that terrible guy on them there, you know, and all the contracts that were associated with the hospital that were terminated. The Forester Security Service, double team taxi service. Mr. Corbin Benjamin had a relationship with the hospital with contracts. Anybody that looked like the other side, perceived to be the other side, they're gone with them. What badness happening in this country?
Sherrod, thanks for having me. Good evening to your listeners. Good evening to my brother Deron. Listen, I think, with all due respect to the regional chairman, the PPP can do those things because we allow them to do it. There is nowhere bar Jack there, and I have no apologies for saying that. There's nowhere bar Jack they should have been allowed to go to London when they have continuously destroyed the people of Linden. They've destroyed the services to Linden. They've made revoked appointments and appointed the board he just talked about, Social Services Board, all East Indians in a completely 199.999% rather, 199.9999% black community. It is unacceptable. Bar Jack, they should have blocked the road. Chase him out. He's the one that invented that formula. Chase them out when they come to your tongues. Chase him out. He's a racist. Bar Jack does not like black people. The PPP doesn't like black people. And so they're planning this snap election and they're running around the place because they realize now Guyana doesn't have enough East Indians for them to win an election. That's the fact. And the PPP is an East Indian party. The PPP believes the black people are second-class citizens. I know this is a very uncomfortable subject for some people, but I live in America where we don't play with race. And the PPP is a racist anti-black party. That's why they're aligned with the Republican Party and the Trump organization, because they all speak the same language. So my bottom line is the people of Linden should demand respect. They're Guyanese. You know, maybe the PPP just now going to say, well, we should sever all black communities from Guyana, and they should go and call themselves another nation. It looks like that's what they're doing soon, because I saw the budget where they cut the budget allocation to Linden and to all the other regions where they have black people, right? And they increased the budget for the regions that they control, which are largely East Indians. The PPP has completely split Guyana in half, straight East Indian, straight black. And that's the reality of life, and that's what we have to address. So the people of Linden should demand services. They should engage in civil disobedience. They should engage in petitioning the international community. They should engage in forcing the government to give them the services they need. That's the most I can say. And I know Deron is trying his best. The regional chairman is trying Deron is trying his best. But I think I saw the deputy mayor sitting there. What is she doing there? When her people are, his people, the mayor's the female, right? When his people are being discriminated against by Bart Jack there, he's sitting there. When the coalition government was in power, did you see anybody from the PPP going anywhere with President Granger? No. But we as a people, we have to show we always have to show something, and that we have to go to these people. Huh?
We are magnanimous like that.
It's more than magnanimous. It's, to me, submissiveness. And that's what racists like. That's what Barjadeh likes. He wants black people and black leaders to submit to him. Did you hear him in the interview talking about Africa Guyanese communities and supporters of APNU? Why? We are not going to allow those people to participate in government and in decision makers. But who the hell is Barjadeh?
He owned the country.
He owned the country?
And it seems as though he wants to own the Caribbean as well, and we can circle back to that.
Exactly, and that is why I'm so happy that the rest of the Caribbean is becoming aware that Bar Jagdeo is the most dangerous racist in the hemisphere.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the foreign minister, sure, can you hear me? I don't know
But
what's going on. Something happened there. I think if we repeat something, people are, oh yeah, here we go. The foreign minister called him xenophobic.
yeah,
That means
yeah.
he's a racist.
Rickford,
So the
we coming
foreign
there.
minister,
We are coming there, Rickford. Hold on,
okay, good,
hold on. We coming down.
good.
We coming down because I want to ask Deron first. I know last year, January 14th, they had a cabinet outreach to Linden. This installed regime to Region 10, and a lot of promises were made. For instance, they promised 1,000 houses. How far are they on that? You come with new promises. They promised the hospitality sector that they would allow youths to benefit from hospitality sector. They said the minister, what's his name? The young child, Charles Ramson, probably just hotty feelings there. Ramson, Joe Hamilton. You know, you have the two opposite ends of the
Another
spectrum.
war
The very
finisher,
old
another
and the
war.
very young. They were instructed to launch an online portal which would encourage young people in hospitality training. Where are them on that? You know, they said they're going to do all this training for young people and all of that. And they said, here, man, hold on. They said they were going to do a master plan, talking to every group of young persons in Linden, all the youth groups, to help craft this master plan before the 2021 budget. This is Air finale. Deron, where is he on that? Right? Building the houses. They said they were going to do that, 1,000 houses, of which you would have had about 200 ready by the end of last year. They said in agriculture, apparently when they went to this outreach, the master plan, the phrase, that was the key thing. They said agriculture in Region 10 and Linden, they were going to do a master plan in agriculture. Where are they in that master plan for agriculture in Linden? There were lots of promises made them a year ago, but you come back again like we could live on promises only.
Sharon, you know, you're talking it just so that I had a brain freeze because it's so much promises, but nothing is being delivered. We would have been told of houses that were going to be built for young professionals. But on the same day when that announcement was made, doctors received letters to vacate the quarters, the doctors' quarters. You have people, teachers, who were sent letters to come up to vacate the houses that teachers have been living in, some of them. Farmers who signed up for the cash grant never received the cash grant. But you have supporters of the government boasting that they have never planted anything but are in possession of the cash grant. In communities, some of the communities, when you go, you might have found 1 or 2 supporters for them. All you have to show is say the names and they were issued the cash grant. When they visited the communities where Afro-Guyanese were, you have to show title, TIN, ID, you know, how many people living in the house. And so many people were denied those monies. Under agriculture, we submitted a list to the Ministry of Agriculture for critical capital works to be done in the region in anticipation of the rainy season, recognizing that Region 10 was hard hit by the flood. The silting of a number of creeks, the Haimara Creek, Silvertongue Creek, nothing, no response from the administration. We have begged, we have pleaded for a board to be set up at the Linden Hospital Complex because Rudy Small has been unilaterally making decisions there, slashing salaries of nurses who protested to as low as $1,000 over a 3-month period, over 100 of them. Their salaries were slashed. I'm sorry I didn't send the pay slip to you so you could put it up on the screen. But you have this administration coming today to tell people about opportunities. Sweeper cleaners, one of the lowest tiers, the auxiliary staff, because they could not produce a vaccination card, their salaries were cut. Sweeper cleaners, who when the coalition took office were receiving about $25,000, and we increased it to $70,000. They have slashed all of those people who had to consult with it.
Can I ask?
Reason.
Sure, can I ask Deron a question?
Go right ahead, Rickford.
Sorry, but Deron, my question is, so we have all of these atrocities on PB government. We have them taking the resources of the country and using mostly primarily for their East Indian community. What is the region doing? What is the regional leaders doing? What are the regional leaders doing? What is the council doing? Have you guys retained an attorney to take all of these matters to court? Are you guys working with unions to make sure that you all work together to make sure people are paid? Listen, I get upset when I see the PUP getting away with things that they should not. Like, so how can they just cut somebody's salary and we just complain about it? That's why I'm saying Barrett Jagdeo should not be allowed in Linden. And I want to say this to the people of Linden. Barrett Jagdeo should not be allowed in Linden.
I'm ready for the election.
Racist. He should not block the streets.
Let me say this to you.
Carry them to court.
Because people have been so marginalized. They have been so targeted. They are so afraid. Letters have been written, and all of these matters and what has been happening
afraid of what? Afraid of whom?
Been brought to the international community. There are a number of developmental projects that occurred under the coalition, that was activated under the coalition, and I'll give you an example. The road from Linden to Lethem. Now, we want that road to be completed. It's a coalition project. The feasibility study, the surveys and everything was done by the coalition. In the final days, the last day when the consultation was being had at Watuka House, the government sent their officials to put padlocks on the gates of the hospital to lock out patients, lock out nurses, lock out teachers, lock out patients who were trying to go there, workers, in an attempt to force the residents to go block that bridge as a reason to say to the international community why the road should not pass through Linden. In the feasibility study that was done, there's a clause that speaks to stability in the region should that project receive a favorable response. So by doing that, you would have been biting the bait. I believe that any protest action should be taken to where it hurts the most, to the capital city. Not hurting your own people, not hurting your own citizens,
I'm getting a message.
But taking the message where it hurts the most.
Sherrod, I'm getting a message that the broadcast is off of Facebook. Can you check that?
The guys are going to check on it for us. Thanks, Rickford. Go right ahead, guys.
Right, so that is, I believe, what it is that they wanted. In fact, if you notice, there was a tender that was out already to divert that road, to take it around, bypass Linden, go to Rockstone. So there was a game plan to bait citizens, bait residents, for them to come out like they did in 2011. And then they would have had ammunition to say why this most welcome developmental project that started under the previous government should not go forward. I'm saying that there are other ways that it can be done. We have done just like what you have been doing, writing the international community, bringing it to their attention. And so, you know, we have to strategize differently, but I do not support at this time blocking our progress or any representation that has been made, whether by our leaders here, for the, whether it's the bridge or preventing or creating an environment for them to not develop that corridor to the Brazil road.
Sherrod, can I jump in? I mean, I hear what Deron is saying. I think we have to come up with a new strategy. Guys, thank you. I'm getting the message that you guys are back on Facebook. We have to come up with a new strategy. I think everything the government does, they should be taken to court. Take it all the way to the CCJ. I understand that there's an issue with resources, but we in the diaspora could raise the resources. We can't allow the PPP to come back in government and again marginalize Black people. We have to be blunt about it. It is Black people and Amerindians and some East Indians that don't support them. They're marginalizing. They want to build a one-party state in Guyana. They want to exercise ethnic dominance, East Indian superiority. Well, PPP East Indian superiority. That's what they want to do. And what they're doing is killing the economic growth and development of Black communities. They're taking a playbook from the Republicans, right? They're killing the economic survival of Black people. They have a noose of subjugation again around the necks of Black people, right? And if the PPP could physically put a noose around your neck, Sherrod, or any other Black person, they will do it to show us contempt, right? And we have to find a way to fight back. We have a weak opposition. We understand that, with all due respect to you, Sherrod. The opposition is weak. The PPP is running over the opposition. And we don't even have an opposition leader. And I understand that that's the PNC. But we have to find a way, the opposition, civil society, the international community, we have to stop this nonsense. We can't just complain. The regional chairman of these regions and the mayors of these towns and the NDC chairman that they're marginalized should take them to court and force the courts to mandate them to increase the budget. You can't have a region like Region 4, the most populous region in the country, where the people is starving for funds, to the point where they can't perform the lawful duties of the region.
And prosecuting Daniel with trumped up foolish charges.
Exactly. Like, it's unbelievable. We cannot accept this. And we can't just write letters. And I know Deron's probably doing his best. We have to take them to court. We have to engage in civil disobedience. This country does not belong to racists from the PPP. It belongs to everybody. And Bar Jagdeo should not be allowed to come into Linden after they have so marginalized and discriminated and beat the people of Linden down into the ground. He must face protests. He must see how the people believe. How the people feel.
I never see a protest that I ain't like. I never see one. And Rickford,
so I am very disappointed in the leadership of Linden, the tongue of Linden, all across the spectrum, that they allowed Bar Jagdeo to walk up in Linden and talk a bunch of trash and walk out when he has his foot, his racist foot, and on the neck of the people of Linden.
In the process. And killed some of our Linderners as well in the process.
And then appoint the man responsible for the killing of the people, police commissioner, to add insult to injury to Black people in the country and the people of Linden.
But Rickford, and the fella seems to be deflecting from all of the woes at home. Rickford, if things look bad by you, it's terrible. We're with them, my brother. We're terrible. I happy when I call your answer. You didn't think I call him begging for little remittances because things stop. Things stop, my brother. And people believe that is why he has been deflecting from what is happening at home and starting trouble in other people's countries. You know, for those of you who
but Sherrod, before you're going to want to make a point and make a very, very serious point, I am committing to the regional chairman that we will raise the money for legal services for them to challenge everything the government is doing that is discriminatory against the people of Linden. Take them to court. Take them all the way. I'm sure by the time I'm done with this broadcast, I will be receiving calls from people. I would receive calls with offers of donation. Hire attorneys, Mr. Regional Chairman. Take these people to court. When they lock that gate of the hospital, that's a serious crime. Anybody who does that in this country will go to jail. Because what you're doing is denying medical services and treatment for emergencies, life-saving treatment to the people. You're not affecting the regional chairman or the PNC. What you're doing is trying to kill the people of Linden. by denying them medical services and emergency medical services. They should not have gotten away with that. You all should have gone to court immediately, and got an injunction against them. But of course, you guys are operating with limited resources, but I'm committing today now, right now, that the diaspora will fund the legal services, not only for Linden, but legal services, and everybody don't come and call me for legal services now. We're talking about impactful lawsuits that will change the course and direction of public policy in the country.
Yeah. Rickford, that being said, you know, as I said, they're trying to deflect from the nastiness happening here. They're now gone to Trinidad, you know, and you know, Papa Jagabat was in Essequibo. Before he talked about the rice farms, he didn't get him a cent, you know. He didn't get him a cent more, right? Talk all kinds of things, using all the Trinidadians. And for folks who aren't familiar with that,
he's moving
take a look, take a listen.
There's a distinction. He's abusing out the black Trinidadians, and he's trying to campaign for the East Indian Party in Trinidad. Let us call it what it is.
Listen to the fella, Papa Jagabat.
We want to invest some of the oil and gas resources into building the infrastructure so the non-oil and gas sector in the future can generate the jobs. Because if we don't do that, when the oil money grows, we'll be poorer than many countries in the world. Look what's happening in Trinidad now. Trinidad is falling apart, and that's putting it mildly. Falling apart. No jobs, no sustained periods of negative growth. Can't see the light of day for the nearest future. For the near future. And
Yeah. So Rickford, you hit the nail on the head, Mr. Regional Chairman, because there's two schools. Well, there's a school of thought, a very persuasive one, that says that if, and as a matter of fact, these are expressions folks have told us in Trinidad, that if Kamala went in power with the same country right now, he would never have said that. And as you said, Rickford, is campaigning for Kamala.
But the thing about Sharon, nothing about the man just said it's true, you know. Nothing. He just made that up, and that's why the Trinidad foreign minister called him a racist. And I'm happy, as I started to say earlier, that the people of the Caribbean are beginning to find out that Bart Jagdeo and the PPP is a racist party, and now they're attacking Rowley because Rowley is a black man. And because Rowley don't subscribe to the nonsense that they're getting on with, they say, well, he's backing the black party in Diana. But you know what? My question is, even if that's the case, so what? If all you can black the Indian party in Trinidad, why Rowley can't back the black party in Guyana? It is time we face the facts. And I keep telling people,
they can't buy Rowley interfering in governments around the Caribbean.
Exactly. Don't judge me by Guyana standard. I live in America where we fight and protect the rights of black people because you have vulturous racists trying to run around and grab us and steal our rights and deny us our dignity. Human dignity, and that's what they're doing in Guyana. What they want to do, let me tell you something, what's the PP's vision, Bart Jagdeo's vision since he was president? They want to build an East Indian axis in the Caribbean and connect the East Indians in Suriname, the East Indians in Trinidad, and the East Indians in Guyana, and try to seize power. That's their agenda. Now, I don't care if it's achieved democratically, but I am saying that it is so anti-CARICOM. It is so vicious. It is so, it is against all of the principles of foreign policy for a vice president of a country to be so reckless and ignorant and attack another country. And in attacking the country, he's telling a bunch of lies. Nothing about what he said there about Trinidad was true. But what he wants to do is paint this picture that his black prime minister in Trinidad is incompetent, he can't see the light of day, the economy is falling apart, there's been negative growth since he came to power. And you know what? Kamala Persessar, the opposition leader, who is equally racist as Jagdeo, would run with that. I say, hey, watch. Even the foreign government saying Trinidad falling apart. That's what he's doing. He's campaigning for the UNC, just like they were trying to campaign for Kamala in the last elections
I
when she
hear
got
Ralph's name
trashed.
calling. I hear Ralph's name calling. You know, folks, we're a little over time. Deron, what are your final thoughts to the people of Region 10? All this foolishness happening. What are your final thoughts?
So let me say this to the people of Region 10, that in examining both governments, you have to make that decision for yourself. Understand, and I believe that one, governments must have a realistic and a strategic implementation plan when in terms of responding to the identified activities of this region or any other region, whether it's through financing of projects and through budgetary allocation. We have seen that this administration does not have your best interests at heart. They have marginalized, they have discriminated against the people of Region 10. Do not be fooled. I want to encourage all those persons who would have been a part of the house-to-house registration and were a part of the Category B list. They have now scrapped that list to make sure that you get registered. Those young people, 14 years and up, make sure you go get registered. Ensure that you invite and encourage other persons in your community to go to the nearest school and to the GCOM office, because I firmly believe that we are heading for a snap elections and we need to be prepared. This administration has done absolutely nothing for this region. And on the other regions that my colleagues would normally mention, they have slashed our budget. They have denied us resources. Imagine in agriculture, a project, a policy document that we would have created, farm to water, so that farmers can get access to waters on their land, was denied. And so when they come and they talk about that they're interested in agriculture, understand that it's a hoax. Do not bite the bait. But they are not genuine. They have denied us access to technical officers, and so they are not genuine about food security in this region. They wanted to block. They have already, in fact, defunded the farmers market day that we would have started. And so recognize that despite all the challenges, we will find innovative ways to get resources to you, whether it's to connect you to the diaspora, connect you to other people. But we will continue to hold steadfast. All of the road projects in phase 1 and 2, Amelia's Ward and in Wizrock, all of these have been submitted, but they have been taken off of the government's agenda. But now, because
so
they
you all
want
get $1 billion in roads like Region 3?
Whatever. In fact, the roads are breaking up. Look at the road in front of the hospital that was completed 8 months ago. It has already caved in. So do not be fooled. But the coalition will be back.
Rickford, talk to our people and the trench crappers and the jagabats.
I can imagine how they're going crazy of my comments. Listen, like I said, listen, all I want to see is Guyanese living a basic internationally acceptable standard of living. All I want to see is justice and equity in the country. All I want to see is good governance and the adherence to the principles of the democratic ethos. Are we as Black people not worthy of that? Aren't we citizens of Guyana? Why it is that the PPP thinks that they can usurp all of the resources of the country, all of the oil and gas money for themselves, when we already have a wealth gap. And now we have oil money, and they're using that money to drive a big crater in the wealth gap in the country. And so what they're doing, obviously, is shutting Black people off, and Black and Amerindian communities that don't support them, and some East Indian communities and mixed race communities or individuals that don't support them, because they think that they must exercise complete and utter ethnic dominance and political dominance. And we are saying that they must not be allowed to do that. Look at everything that they're doing. They want to demonstrate total control, and they don't care what the international community says. Matter of fact, look, the USAID just published a report that was issued last year that called for equitable management and benefit of Guyana's oil and gas resources. Ravin Singh wrote objecting to that and saying that the USAID was misinformed and came to wrong conclusions and they were misguided. Huh? So what happened? Only PPP people alone own the oil and gas in the earth. Listen, it's time Guyanese wake up and understand what we're telling them, that these people are off running at 100 miles an hour, trying to establish an ethnocracy where they're only using the resources of the country to benefit East Indians. It's a fact. Whether we want to acknowledge it or not, that's what's happening in Guyana. And we have to find a way to have equity. We have to find a way to get ourselves at the table where this decision about where this money going to be spent and who going to benefit is being discussed and decided. We have to force them to fund Georgetown, fund Region 4, fund Linden, fund Region 10, and fund Black communities in other parts of the country. The resources of Guyana, the natural patrimony, and the wealth ain't belong to East Indian people and the PPP East Indian people alone, or the PPP ministers. No, it belongs to everybody. And let us now face the fact and have a conversation about what is taking place in Guyana and fight for what is important: democracy, equitable governance, and equal benefit from the resources of the country. I don't care who governs. I want to see that. Democracy, fairness, justice, equitable governance, and equal benefit of the resources of the country. Everybody must benefit. Country belongs to all of we. It's we own, not only them own.
Yeah. Deron Adams, Regional Chairman, Region 10, thanks for joining our program this evening. Rickford Burke, the President of the Caribbean Guyana Institute for Democracy there in New York, thanks for joining our program as well. We were best friends. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Good to have you guys with us, as always. Guys, that's it. That's our program this evening. Good to see each and every one of you. And just when you think we're done, you think so? Guys, come back and partner with us. We need your help to get to the finish line in March. We need your help. That being said, folks, yep. Look what's happening here. Some other headlines we think you guys ought to know about. Yep, 26 road deaths thus far for 2022. 26 road deaths, according to the traffic chief. Believe it or not, coming down on the left-hand side there, teen dies in Craig accident, horrific accident there on Saturday night. What was it? Saturday night on the Craig Public Road there on the East Bank. Horrific accident, people. My Lord. Yep, horrific accident. I told you, coming down on the left-hand side, SASTOD and UK organization examining analysis on hate crimes in Guyana, according to Big Uncle Gordon Mosley news source. And then Newsroom is telling us that Mr. Foster was replaced as the Caribbean West Indies director. Very fishy circumstances. We're going to be talking a little bit about that tomorrow. Kaiser News is telling us that Guyana is yet to implement over 100 safeguards to prevent corruption and revenue leakage in all sectors. And then Starbuck News is telling us that Windsor Forest pedestrian 66 dies after an accident. And then again, Starbuck News, and again, Starbuck News, environmentalists flag EPA non-disclosure on New Demerara Bridge project. You know, the government is secrecy. Yep, and then rape accused taxi driver found guilty of attack on sex worker. Then the Chronicle telling me cop dies in Lusignan accident. And driver's exams, this is interesting. Driver's exams locally, soon to be done electronically. And they're saying you may have your results available immediately after those exams. That's what's happening on the front of the headlines, folks. The headlines making the rounds, folks. And that's our program for this evening. We cannot do these programs without you at all, folks. And we're so happy that you guys are here with us. And our encouragement is to come back and partner with us. Stay partner. Come back and partner with us. Those of you who've done so in the past, we really need your help to get to the finish line in March so that we can do these programs to continue to bring you valid and credible information. You know, we got several platforms available. We got Cash App, we got Zelle, we got PayPal, we got MMG, MoneyGram, Western Union. You want to know how you can partner with us? How to go about it? What is the process? Guys, WhatsApp us, 627-6963, and we can tell you guys a little more about that. 627-6963. That's our time. So glad that so many of you stayed with us this evening. Thank you so much for making us your place for news and entertainment, edutainment, and all the other good stuff you stop by for. That's our time, folks. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe. That's our time, guys. That's my time. Stay safe. Share the live stream. Smash that emoji button before you go. Share the program. Share it, folks. That's our time. That's right. That's our time, guys. Stay safe.